All right, let's get right into it. Is America actually winning the AI race, or is it about to get completely blindsided? Today, we're breaking down this whole high-stakes game using the insights of none other than former Google CEO Eric Schmidt. We're going to look past the usual headlines at the hidden battles, the shocking weak spots, and the global risks that could change, well, everything.
Okay, so let's just cut to the chase. The one question that really matters. In this global showdown over artificial intelligence, is the United States actually on track to come out on top?
So according to Schmidt, the short answer is, yeah, it looks that way. But, and this is a huge but, that simple answer barely scratches the surface of a way more complicated and honestly way more interesting story. The real question isn't just if the US will win, it's what kind of race it's winning and what the consequences are.
So first up, let's look at the area where America has a pretty serious lead right now. The big one, the Moonshot for Artificial General Intelligence, AGI.
AGI is basically the holy grail here. We're talking about an AI that could teach itself, improve itself over and over, potentially leading to a kind of superintelligence that would fundamentally change our entire world. It's the stuff we've seen in sci-fi movies, and it's happening a lot faster than people think.
So how is the U.S. pulling ahead? It's all about what Schmidt calls the San Francisco Consensus, this all-in, go-for-broke strategy to build AGI. To do that, you need an absolutely insane amount of the most advanced hardware, the most powerful computer chips on Earth. And here's the key. U.S. restrictions on exporting that hardware are making it really, really tough for China to even compete in this specific arena.
And this is where it gets fascinating, because China isn't even really playing the same game. While the U.S. is chasing this massive AGI moonshot, China's playing a much more practical, grounded game. They're just trying to bake what Schmidt calls classical AI into every single product and service they have right now.
And that brings us to the first big twist. Because while America is sprinting towards AGI in the digital world, China is absolutely winning a different race, the race to build the physical world of the future.
Yeah, Schmidt does not mince words on this. He's basically saying we should all just get ready for a world that is flooded with cheap Chinese robots. And if that strategy sounds familiar, it should. It's the exact same playbook that used to completely dominate electric vehicles and solar panels.
So what it really boils down to is this. You have two totally different strengths. America's software is just far more advanced, far more sophisticated. But China's ability to just churn out cheap, high-quality hardware, all the little motors and sensors that actually make a robot work, is on a level that nobody else can touch.
But there is a much, much deeper problem that could completely wreck America's lead. And it has nothing to do with software or robots. It's all about power.
I mean, it's a pretty simple question when you think about it. These giant AI models run on millions of chips in these massive data centers, and all of that, it just eats up a truly colossal amount of electricity. And this is where the US has a huge and, frankly, self-inflicted problem.
To give you some perspective, Schmidt says China has pretty much already solved its energy needs for this. In just 1 year, they installed a mind-boggling 172 gigawatts of solar power. That number is just, it's hard to even wrap your head around.
Now compare that to the United States. The estimates say the U.S. needs to build 92 gigawatts of new power by 2030, and that's just to run its AI data centers. We're talking about needing to build the equivalent of dozens and dozens of new nuclear power plants in just a handful of years.
And this chart just lays it out perfectly. I mean, look at that gap. It's massive. What China installed in 1 year is nearly double what the U.S. needs to build over the next several. And Schmidt points out that while China is going full throttle, U.S. policy has actually been slowing down renewable energy projects. It's a critical bottleneck.
So the bottom line here is brutally simple. It's a direct warning from Schmidt. If America doesn't radically fix its energy policy, its huge lead in AI could just run out of juice. All that ambition could be starved of the power it needs to even function. Okay, so let's get to the final twist in this whole thing. And for this, we have to zoom out from the US versus China race to a threat that honestly affects every single one of us. It's the problem of proliferation. Schmidt lays out 3 immediate dangers that these new AI tools have unleashed. First, misinformation, obviously, which can be used to tear democracies apart. Second, cyber warfare, where an AI can write malicious code better than any human hacker. And third, and this one is really terrifying, is using AI to help design new biological weapons.
But here's what makes this threat so different from something like nuclear weapons. The biggest risk isn't from a big country. Schmidt says he's actually more worried about small, anonymous groups lurking in the shadows using powerful open-source AI models. And get this, some of these free, open models are already 80 to 90% as good as the best ones from Google or OpenAI.
And there's a technique called distillation that makes it even scarier. Basically, a bad actor can use a giant multi-billion-dollar AI to teach a much smaller, cheaper model. They can copy its capabilities for maybe 1% of the cost. It makes these incredibly dangerous tools accessible to pretty much anyone.
And this leads to a really weird potential future. The West keeps its best AI locked up, closed source, and super expensive. Meanwhile, China's powerful models are open source and free. The geopolitical fallout from that is huge. The rest of the world might just end up using Chinese AI, not because it's better, but just because it's the one they can actually get their hands on.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? Well, this isn't just a simple race about one country winning. It's about all of humanity trying to navigate a shift in history that is completely unprecedented.
I mean, listen to how Schmidt puts this. He says the arrival of AI isn't just another new technology. He puts it on the same level as the discovery of fire or the invention of electricity. That's the scale we're talking about. The decisions we all make in the next 5 to 10 years will literally define the next century.
And why are the stakes that high? Because when you boil it all down, applying intelligence is what drives everything in our world. Economic growth, innovation, global leadership, all of it. The countries and companies that figure out how to master this new form of intelligence, they're not just going to be the winners, they're going to be the ones who write the rules for everyone else.
Which leaves us with one last giant question. If AI really is the new fire, then who gets to decide how it's used? This isn't just about winning a race anymore. It's about all of us trying to steer one of the most powerful inventions in human history. The race is on, for sure, but the destination, that's still very much up to us.